Kia ora, no mai ki te whare. Welcome to the House, ko Daniela Maua te koksaho. The tone of Parliament is usually argumentative, contentious and quarrelsome, as MPs verbally spar about bills, legislation and what parties on the other side of the debating chamber are doing.
Not only is there civil war into Pāti Māori, it turns out there's civil war in the Labour Party too.
The mission of right-wing governments in the playbook around the world is to funnel as much public funds into the hands of private greed as they can. And that is exactly what we have seen from this government.
Has the Labour Party learned the lessons when everything in their record and their policies to date indicate the exact opposite? We say no.
Stop the hysteria, National, and get real.
For the past 6 years, under the Labour government, our education was in a steady decline.
These aren't my words, these are Christopher Bishop's words. This government agrees, but are doing nothing about it.
But it's not just MPs being contrary for the sake of it. It's actually by design. The government's job is to run the country, and this includes putting forward legislation to change or make new laws. The role of the other MPs who are not ministers, including those in government parties, is to check on what the government is doing and hold it to account. This is what causes a lot of the arguing. True to form, MPs debated the Fast-Track Approvals Amendment Bill on Thursday, with the government talking about how great the bill is.
Well, I'm proud to stand up here in this House and support, once again, a bill that believes and supports in getting things done.
This bill is about fixing what matters.
We're a government of action, and I commend this bill to the House.
And the opposition living up to their name and opposing it.
This bill is a Trojan horse, Mr. Speaker.
This is a bill that continues this government's war on nature by stealth.
When it comes to solving the issue of supermarket competition, this is not the way to do it.
The first speech in a debate on a bill is usually given by the minister responsible. In charge of this bill is the Minister for RMA Reform, Chris Bishop. As is usual for a first reading debate, he outlines the purpose of the bill.
Mr. Speaker, the government's making this change to make it clear to the grocery retail sector that projects that will improve competition are within fast-track scope. There's a range of technical and machinery amendments are also aimed at speeding up the application process by up to 6 weeks or potentially more in some cases. The aim of the changes is to cumulatively reduce timeframes, lower costs, improve flexibility and clarify operational matters.
When a government bill is before the House, it's typical for MPs in government parties to give speeches in support. Minister of Finance Nicola Willis says the bill will make it easier and faster for new supermarkets to be built, which in turn should improve grocery competition.
Madam Speaker, the New Zealand Commerce Commission has found that competition in the New Zealand grocery sector is limited. The sector is highly concentrated, with the major grocery retailers, Woolworths and Foodstuffs North and South Island, making up 82% of the market. While they have different banners and brands underneath them, essentially we have a duopoly in our supermarket sector in New Zealand, which contributes to less affordable groceries for everyday Kiwis. And the limited competition also means Kiwi shoppers have less choice about where they shop and face higher prices at the checkout compared with other countries. You can choose between a Pack and Save and a New World, but ultimately they're both foodstuffs. You can choose between a Woolworths and a Fresh Choice, but ultimately they're both Woolworths. We want more real, genuine choice for New Zealand shoppers, because when we look around the world, the countries that have more choice also have more affordable options for their people.
On paper, MPs not in the executive are also meant to check the government, but those in government parties are unlikely to step out of party lines. So the sentiment of the RMA Reform Minister and Finance Minister were echoed by other MPs in the debating chamber, with ACT MP Simon Court focusing on the potential of this bill to improve competition.
It turns out that we need more supermarkets because competition means lower prices. Lower prices means more affordable things for Kiwis, like food and all those other groceries that many families worry, can they afford and pay the other bills that they get every month in the mail.
New Zealand First MP Jamie Arbuckle also says competition is important.
It's also, we're talking about the supermarkets, we're also talking about regional New Zealand where we need competition. We need to start seeing extra competition in the supermarket industry, and this bill will allow that to happen.
MPs have 5 minutes for their speech, but sometimes those on the governing side opt to keep it short and sweet, potentially to speed up the inevitable, because the bill is guaranteed to pass. Here's National MP Grant McCallum taking a short call to commend the bill to the House.
Grant McCallum.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Well, I'm proud to stand up here in this House and support once again a bill that believes and supports in getting things done. What we're looking to do here is allow for more competition in the supermarket sector so people can lower their cost of living. That's what it's about. The last speaker seems to have forgotten about the 7.2% inflation that we inherited from them, and we have done a lot of great work to change that. And the other thing this bill will do is allow us to build great projects all around this country, and the main one, of course, it's the most important one, is to get that new road over the Brindlewins so that it's got resilient infrastructure into Northland. I commend this bill.
On the other side of the U-shaped chamber is the opposition, and as they're not in government, they tend to take to their role of scrutiny with a vast amount of critique of government bills. Labour MP Priyanka Radhakrishnan says the bill will have a bigger impact than what is suggested.
It's a Trojan horse, Madam Speaker. This is a bill that continues this government's war on nature by stealth, and it makes about 100 other changes that none of the members on the government benches have bothered to address in their speeches. In June this year, Madam Speaker, over 20,000 people marched the streets to protest the fast-track bill. They said, many of them said, that it would put Aotearoa on a fast track to environmental destruction. Many called it the biggest fight for New Zealand's environment in a generation.
This particular bill is an amendment bill, which means it is making changes to an existing act. In this case, the Fast Track Approvals Act 2024, which Labour MP Aruna Williams says supermarkets can already use to speed up a consent process.
This could have been an opportunity for the government to introduce a bill to this parliament that would have dealt with the land supply issues that are a real issue in the supermarket sector. But this bill is one where the grocery retail sector participants can already apply to the Minister for Infrastructure to refer a development project for decision-making under the fast-track approvals process already. This does not change that. It does not introduce a new track for supermarkets to apply to Minister Bishop for special consideration. They already have that.
Te Pāti Māori MP Maria Mino Kapakingi also lodged her party's opposition to the bill and spoke about the potential impact on engagement with Māori.
If speed is prioritised over relationships, where will this leave communities? For communities, for iwi, and for those charged with protecting the environment and upholding treaty obligations, this bill creates uncertainty. It compresses timelines, it cuts consultation and puts economic growth ahead of genuine and honest engagement.
Despite the opposition performing their task of objecting to the bill, the government holds a majority in the House, and the Fast Track Approvals Amendment Bill passed its first reading. It now sits with the Environment Committee for review. While arguing MPs may be the norm, there are particular occasions at Parliament where they put aside their differences in recognition of a significant moment. This week's moment was a new MP's first speech.
In accordance with a decision by the Business Committee, I call on Mike Davidson to make a maiden statement to the House.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Whakapūkena te tātou o te matoranga o te whakaaro, te whitina o Matariki.
It is a rite of passage at Parliament for each new MP to give a first speech to the House, and on Thursday, freshly minted Green MP Mike Davison gave his maiden statement. Maiden statements often include a mixture of personal anecdotes and professional intentions. Davison begins with a personal approach.
In August 2020, a few days before my father died of prostate cancer, I promised him three things. First, that I would follow through the process we had started together and gain whakapapa registration with Ngāi Tahu. Second, I would finish my environmental science degree. And third, that I would become a member of this country's parliament. 5 years later, those three things are finally ticked off.
It's also common for a maiden statement to include a summary of an MP's upbringing, and Davison says his was a fairly typical one.
I came from a working class family with a train driver dad and mum a childcare worker. It was a stereotypical Kiwi childhood, spent tramping and camping with my parents and brother all around Te Waipounamu. Politics and protests growing up were part of our family. I remember a photograph in the press newspaper of a 7-year-old me with my father and brother in the rain protesting at a national government transport amendment bill that would deregulate the railways, encouraging freight onto our roads instead. It was these experiences that shaped me, that laid the foundation.
Another regular feature of a maiden speech is to outline the issues that are top of mind. A key concern for Davison is climate change.
Climate change is no longer an abstract concept happening to someone else, somewhere else, sometime in the future. It is here and now. We should be acting. But instead we continue to pander to vested interests and fight amongst ourselves. We need to do better. We need to be better. The decisions that are made or not made in this House will be felt by the generations that follow.
New MPs also share how they intend to act during their term, and Davison says he will focus on ensuring a watchful eye is kept on the government.
Over the next 12 months, I will work with my Green colleagues to hold this government to account, to challenge them, and to show the people of Aotearoa what a government with a green heart will offer our country. A country that upholds Te Tiriti o Waitangi, that takes real action on climate change and lifts people out of poverty. A country where everyone has what they need, our water is clean and nature thrives. Where our healthcare system is resourced to meet its needs, where children can safely walk and bike to school, and we all live in warm, dry, affordable homes.
It is against the rules for people in the public gallery to make any noise that disrupts proceedings, but for commemorative moments it is common for the House to pause so waiata can be sung. Maiden statements go on the official parliamentary record, and you can find Mike Davison's full speech on Parliament's website. I te whakaronga koe ki te whare. You've been listening to The House, a program made with funding from Parliament's Office of the Clerk. Mā te wā.